Hi everyone, this is Bruno Falcone. I am here in Sydney and I am so happy to be here with Renee James. Thank you for being here with me.
Oh, thank you.
So today we're gonna spend some time together, and all I wanna do, it is literally shout to the world the level of passion, the level of commitment that you have to your cause. I think it's very important for everyone to know like the tremendous impact that you're having to all of the people that you work with, but also like the amount of work that you put into what you do. So we were just talking about it just then off camera. So you just finished with all of your studies. Do you want to tell a little bit about that part as well?
No, I think for me, I'm always learning and growing. So for me, that's nothing usual. Like every year I'm doing something to upgrade myself, to learn. I've sort of got under my belt 25 years worth of different modalities, and that reaches from everything from nutrition to fitness to natural medicine to
Love that.
energy healing to spiritual healing to working with animals.
So tell me about that. Tell me about the energy. Tell me about like that healing wave that no one knows about, or most people have difficulty understanding.
Yeah, okay. I guess in the modern world, we're really focused on a lot of physical symptoms and things. And you think about when you go to the doctor will only, you talk about the physical element. But there's so much more to us as humans. It's not just the physical. We are emotional. We have a mental side.
Yeah.
We have a spiritual side. And what I have learned over the last, 25 years or so, probably more, is really bringing together the physical, the emotional, the mind, and the spiritual. And I find I have created my own modality, my own way of healing through integrating all of those parts. And that's where I have the most success with people, and I've even been doing with pets. So that is where I have learnt to, because if you just go with the physical, you can take every pill under the sun and you will not be getting anywhere. You have to address what is going on with the other parts of you. And that's what I'm so passionate about. I'm so committed to helping people really to no longer struggle, to overcome their limiting beliefs, to even clear their childhood traumas, all of that. And once you do that, because here's the funny thing. Most even chronic illnesses or even diseases are actually a manifestation of emotional issues, emotional blocks. And when you clear those, the pain goes. You're free of it. And so you don't need the pill. You don't need all these things that modern medicine says you need. You just need to go back and clear those emotional issues and you are good.
Yeah. I mean, this sounds like a dream. And there's a lot of people out there that most likely will, it sounds so beautiful. And there's a little wall out there that a lot of these people, they have, when thinking about natural healing and thinking back to themselves. Because obviously, like what you understand is the body, the physical. And then, so what is your way, or one of the ways that you have introduced to get people to open up to like this new mindset, this new way of healing yourself? Well,
it's a really beautiful process. So when people often think they're coming in to do sort of, we're just going to address the physical. But through asking questions, I start to then take them on a much different journey. So it really then becomes a point where they start to feel comfortable to really go back to maybe a childhood trauma or something like that. So it's a really delicate process because it's not something that someone actually goes, oh, I've got it, because often, believe it or not, they don't know what it is.
Well, but you don't want to. As a human, you don't want to re-experience.
No. And there's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of our unconscious mind actually wants to protect us.
Of course.
So what our mind will say, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to feel that pain. So it takes a few like sort of sessions and things like that to have them feeling really open to that. That's where the true healing begins.
Because look, I'll tell you the truth, like on my end, and this is like, this is real. My family was, very humble beginnings, and then I came to Australia. I'm making my way into the world as what I'm doing right now. But this is definitely a new world of opportunities, and Australia is giving me this. But obviously, like I've been here for 15 years, so like, if anything, you can say that I live longer here as an adult than I was in Italy, because, you know, I don't know if you can count the forming years. But the one thing I wanted to say is, like, you know, like in my family, like as most people out there, I had very difficult experiences, right? The very different experience, a little bit of a unstable environment, right? And, you know, my reaction to that when I was young, it was to find happiness outside of my home. So like I would do, you know, experiences. Like I honestly believe that I lived a very full life, but because I was always the one jumping into those experiences, right? Like my friend is going to Sicily next week. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm down. Like I'll come to Sicily, right? Without telling my parents sometimes, like just like keeping it a secret.
Yeah.
But because I knew that wasn't, like looking at back now, like I knew that wasn't safe. Telling them that would have been experiencing something, some sort of happiness, right? So for me, even right now, like as I'm talking to you about the easiest memories, straight away I have the difficult ones in my mind. Straight away, right?
And we all do. That's
and
very
I
common.
don't want, and I can tell that's difficult to like for people to re-experience them.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think probably like people want to see what's on the other end for them to go through it again.
Yep.
So how do you help them go through
Honestly, everyone, we're all in a similar boat. We all have that journey. Even myself, I have gone through the processes that I do with people in order to learn about them. You'll sort of know when it's time that you want to overcome those issues that are holding you back, because you might not think that it relates to something in your childhood, but you know, you were mentioning before, you know, you get stomach upsets. That can often be a sign of things that you have held on from something in your past. And it could be like holding on to fear, or holding on to that feeling of not feeling secure, or not feeling, even not feeling worthy or not good enough, believe it or not, or resentment, anger. It can reside in our stomach area, and often doctors will put that off as, okay, you've got like you've got
stomach acid or something,
you know, something else. But often it's something much more emotionally connected, because our mind and our body are all connected.
Yeah.
And so when we realize that that's what we are, and we really are, we are a spiritual being having a human experience. I always say that to everybody.
I love that. It's true.
And we can't forget that side of us. And our unconscious mind, its very purpose is actually to keep us safe. And it actually suppresses our emotions, and it suppresses memories.
Why?
Way back in this life, and even a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
And so when you're ready to confront those, you'll find that you'll be so much more happy, so much more joy. You can achieve far more success than you can ever imagine when you let it go. And it's a beautiful, beautiful transition when you go through it. But it's a very delicate one, because everyone has to go at their own pace, and some people need a few one-on-one sort of sessions, some need more. I feel like where I'm at now, I like to teach people how to do it for themselves even, because I feel we've all got this innate ability. And so it's teaching you and giving you the tools and saying, you know what, you've got this, you can do this.
So how would they know, like anybody that, you know, would need that support from you?
Well, if they're struggling,
how would they know?
Well, if they're struggling in their life, they're feeling like they're depressed, they feel like they're feeling not good enough, they're not feeling worthy, they're feeling stuck in life, they're feeling like nothing's going right for them, like, you know, they're not getting the job that they want, they're not in the career that they want, they're in a relationship that's not working. All these factors, their life's in chaos, something's under the surface. And no pill is going to take that away. It has to be, we've got to start to tear down that wall. We've got to look at what's really going on under the surface. And when we unlock that, it can be it's a beautiful release.
Yeah. No, it sounds amazing. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, there's a lot of people out there, they almost fighting this feeling of you know, like fighting the spirituality. The society, the media,
100%.
They're pushing you.
They want to control us. They want us to
be
just
physical.
Just be the good employee. Turn up to your job. Just be an obedient person in society. But no, that doesn't mean that that's what your heart and soul wants. And like if you get in touch with just what your passion and what your purpose is, you will live a fulfilled life. But you've got to clear what's under that surface, because that might be the thing that's holding you back to going and saying, you know what, that job I really want to be, or that thing that I want to, you know, that career I really want. You might not feel like you're worthy of it to go and get it, but it's just there. It's in your reach. You just need a little help getting to it.
So, I mean, like in the world of personal development, you know, like in the industry per se, how would you change the industry? That if there was one thing with a magic wand that you could do to change the industry and to better it, would there be something specific that you would do?
If we're talking about the medical industry, I think what we need to do is be more integrative. I think what really helps, we're too focused on the physical, and that's not working. Look at COVID, for example. We're only focusing on the physical symptoms, the breathing issues and the whatevers, the virus, and saying that we're all going to die from this virus. But you know what? At the end of the day, it was our immune systems. But what happened in that, what was an interesting thing about that whole time, it put a lot of fear in people, and people are still living in fear.
I think so, yeah.
And it's so unnecessary. We don't need to be living in that fear. That's so unnecessary to put ourselves through that struggle and that trauma, because at the end of the day, we have the ability to heal ourselves, to build our immune systems, and we could beat any disease, whether it's a virus, whether it's cancer. It doesn't matter what the disease. I have worked with people and we have made miracles happen with the things that scare people the most. You shouldn't live in fear. Don't live in fear. You've got to embrace belief and believe that anything is possible.
So why?
That's what I always tell people. Believe anything is possible, because when you come from a place of fear, then that's what's going to hold you back. But if you believe anything is possible, then your energy shifts and you can then embrace a better outcome.
So you sound extremely passionate about it. Is this a personal experience that you were somewhere and then you got to where you are today?
Yeah, 100%.
And then you kind of want to share with the world?
Yep. I definitely.
So what happened?
Yeah.
Who hurt you?
Yeah, I think I was hurting myself. It was a tough journey about 10 years ago. I was in a job that I wasn't fulfilled in, and I ended up having a really bad injury, and then I fell down the spiral of depression. And, I made all sorts of horrendous attempts to, harm myself, and hated myself in every way. And out of all the darkness and all the despair, light come through with the answers of, what I needed to do to help myself and to what journey the things I needed to change. And so ever since, it's been a journey of learning and growing, and it sort of led me to what my real passions was.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't happy doing what I was doing. And that's the thing, you've got to keep trying these things to figure out what is your passion. And so that's really what I kept listening to my intuition. I kept following my heart, and it kept leading me and guiding me in the right direction.
So that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When did you first start seeing any like getting yourself out of?
Well, the funny thing is, actually, now I come to think of it, actually my dog got sick. And he meant the absolute world to me, and I wanted to do everything I could to save him and to heal him. And so that took me on this big quest of I was already studying natural medicine. I was doing a bachelor's degree in nutritional medicine at the time.
Yeah.
And I was also running a fitness business. I was teaching Pilates and different fitness programs and in Sydney. And when he was struck with this disease, he had a tumour, he had a brain tumour, we discovered. And so obviously with animals, there's not a lot they offer, the general chemos and the radiations and possibly surgery. But I just knew in my heart I was never going to do the chemos and the radiation. I wasn't going to do what mainstream medicine says. And so I was taking everything I had learnt when it comes to natural medicine, and I was applying that. And so I was getting, and through all of that and just the nurturing, I was able to extend his life. Had I gone the other way, he probably would have only lasted 3 months or so. But I got to have many more years with him.
Oh.
And that was the best. That was really what I did it all for.
Yeah.
But what I didn't realise is that more dogs would come into my life with more issues that I had to solve. And so I was going on this quest of solving all these problems. And it's okay, right, what do you got? And I never thought, no, I can't do this. I thought every time, I can do this. What's the issue? I'm going to fix this. I'm going to solve this. I can do this. And I would find a way. And I would just keep doing that. That was just kept driving me forward. And so, honestly, I have done so many different cancers, and I have got them into remission. I have cured them. I have done what people say is miraculous.
Miraculous.
And I can only say, but through all of that, what I have learnt is, while I was in some parts in my early part of my career was only focusing on the physical, now I've come in with different things, different skills I've been learning about energy healing and spiritual healing. And so now things happen a lot more quicker by adopting that. So now I've just got a whole little system that I do, and it's not just the physical thing that I do. And just the other day I was working with a lady with her dog, and she was worried about having to put the dog down because he wasn't able to walk. Anyway, just within one session, the dog is walking fine. So,
oh my God.
And I said, oh, you've got to do a video of this because she just couldn't believe that just this one session I did. And it was just something, a simple visualization thing that I took her through. And but actually the funny thing is I had to work on her mindset because she was so focused on the dog dying. Then I said to her, you're going to bring that into you. You are
into the light, into your life.
You're going to make that the reality. So I said to you, what do you want instead? What do you want instead? And obviously you want the dog to be around a lot longer. So, well, now that's what we're going to focus on. So I said, let's focus on him running. Let's focus on him, doing all the things that he loves to do. And let's stop worrying about that. Yeah. Because that's what's going to happen if you keep worrying about it.
Of course. So
I had to work on her mindset. Yeah. So I shifted her mindset. And then we did a healing for the dog. And I've done a lot of physical things as well, changing the diet, doing some special supplements, all natural. Nothing is like chemicals. Yep, I've changed all of that. And the dog's got more energy. He's not limping. She's happy. Her mindset's changed. She's now got something to believe in. And away we go.
So Renee, in the past, like 10 years ago, like you were in that dark place. Renee today, what's driving you? What's your why in your journey as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, it's really, I'm just really passionate about helping and serving others and making their, freeing them from the struggles, seeing them, achieve happiness, making other people happy really makes me happy. It just gives me a sense of fulfillment. So kicking goals, Yeah. So just feeling like fabulous.
I think being of service, it is definitely one of those things, right? Like when put in perspective, like it does give you that fulfillment and that feeling of even your own sense of giving to the world, of giving to the rest of the world.
Value,
right? Adding
so
value.
Important.
Yeah.
So that's really where I feel, I have so much gratitude. I'm so grateful for the experiences that I've had because it really has shaped me for who I am. And who I am today is someone I'm so proud of.
Yeah,
and love. Yeah,
you gotta say it. Exactly.
Today.
I fell in love with her straight away. I was like, "Who are you? This beautiful being!" Like I love it. Now, and the cool thing about it is that you will be speaking in America in front of thousands of people. How are you feeling about that?
I'm excited.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're doing today. Like we're like literally like we're working out a cool outfit for you to express yourself on stage, right? And I think what are for you the most important things that you need to feel and perform at your best?
Yeah, to be grounded, to have a really still mind, to looking my best, having great energy. I really do practice what I preach, eat well, exercise, keeping my mental mind in check. I'm always very mindful of my thoughts. If anything comes in, I'm always challenging it. Whatever emotion I feel, I'm always saying, okay, well, how do I want to feel instead? And so I'm really keep elevating my energy because obviously then good things will keep coming.
These are cheat codes.
I'm sprinkling a few little things through here because that's my other little passion is how to help you to achieve what you really want and not focusing on what you don't want. It's really focusing on that and bringing that to you in an energetic frequency.
I feel like that's awesome. I want to find a way to channel that energy into the outfit. So we're going to have to find out a way to do it. Whenever you'll be on stage, I think and that will be like thousands of people that you don't know because that's America. But also another way to think about it is that the event is going to be taken like videotaped, right? So you're going to have videos of it, of you in stage. So how important is to present the way that the most congruent to your energy and to your personal branding?
Yeah, very important because I feel like when I'm looking good and I'm feeling good, then I will perform my best. Because if I'm focusing on, this isn't right, and I honestly don't get me started on like how I get with my hair, that has to be on point as well, and my makeup and whatnot. The girl has to be looking good, and then I feel I'll be good.
I think it comes down to like taking care of yourself.
Yes.
It really comes down to that.
Yeah.
In my experience, whenever I see the people that get the most value out of me, the people that that work with me, I notice there's been a moment that they stop taking care of themselves. They don't know why. I don't know why. But then
I know why.
you know why. There you go. I'll let you say in a minute. And literally the image and the way they dress and everything, that is the fastest way for them to start feeling a little bit different,
100%.
right? It's a cheat code again. It's it's
100%.
a shortcut.
Yep.
It doesn't heal the inside,
Yep.
but it's a shortcut for them to get to the state, feel like.
Yeah.
But what is the reason? What do you think that they stop?
No, well, that just
taking
seems like
care
they're
of
blocking
themselves?
their heart is blocked. They've either gone through some sort of trauma where it could be a relationship, it could have been a divorce, it could have been something like that. But they've obviously closed down, and so they're not loving themselves, or they don't feel worthy to love.
Yeah.
But they want love, but they don't know how. And here's the thing with that: if you want more love in your life, you got to love yourself first. If you fill up yourself, then you can project that out. And the funny thing is, you will call in what's best for you when you're in that state. But if you're not taking care of yourself and really hard on yourself, being very critical, you're just really making yourself depressed, and that's just putting yourself into struggle. And we don't need to struggle.
Look, I'll tell you one more story.
Yeah.
And this is again me bringing down the walls. When I was 23, my mother was in a terrible state, really, really terrible state. And I don't like to tell the details, but it was terrible. You imagine the worst, and that's what it was. And she asked me for my help. She was like, you need to be here for me, and you need to do it. And in that moment, regrettably in a way, but also in another way, I think that was the first time I took charge of myself and my own emotions. And I remember telling her exactly that. I remember saying, look, I can't help you if I'm not good, if I'm not in that state, in that state of energy. I can't help you because I can't help myself.
No.
And we're both going to go down.
That's right.
And that was a moment that it was very tough. It was very difficult.
Very tough.
Things have worked out in different ways, but I can tell you that was a definitely defining moment for me as an adult.
Yes.
Right? And taking care of myself. And for once, starting to think of loving myself versus always loving everyone around me.
Pleasing others, yeah.
But it's still tough.
Yeah.
But it's still tough to
Especially when it
this
comes to
day.
our family, yeah.
To this day, there's always that moment that you think what if I would have done the opposite way? But then I know that wouldn't be where I am today. I know it, as a guaranteed, not even as a maybe. I know that wouldn't be where I am today, and then and she's good now, and she wouldn't be where she is today, but. It's tough. That's why, for me, it's important to tell everyone, how you bring everyone through these journeys. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I also feel that feeling of opening up with you because you have a good energy, you're very giving, and I know that you're doing this big impact in everybody that you touch. That's why for me, I was very looking forward to see you today. So if anybody would like to reach out to you, I know that they can reach out maybe on social media. So maybe directly to you.
Yes.
Do you answer the DMs?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, she doesn't answer mine. No, I'm joking.
You haven't. I don't even think you're. Yeah. You'll follow me after this.
No. It's very difficult to show it on camera, but in person, Renee, you're absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge. Thank you so much for giving a little bit of a better idea to everyone out there that there's a chance, there's a possibility. If I could leave you with something to tell everyone.
Yes.
So imagine a world where there's no technology, you can't write it down, there's nowhere where you can put your knowledge, and you can only say your knowledge, and you have 3 sentences to help humanity. What would you say?
Wow, 3 sentences. I thought you were going to say 3 words. Thank God it's 3 sentences. You're more powerful than you will ever realize, that everything you ever need is already within you. and you are so special. When you learn to actually connect with yourself, you will find that you can be anything that you ever want to be. You are a shining light, and when you're on your mission and your purpose, you'll be even brighter. No health issue, no disease is impossible when you use your mind and your will and your belief. And I hope to teach people just about that. Really.
I love it. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for connecting, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you.
You're the best.
You're the best.